Welcome to Center Ground, your home for unfiltered discussion, where we tackle today's most talked about topics, break down current events, and give our take on the internet's latest foolishness. Tune in and let's find some common ground. Let's get this party started.
Welcome back to the Center Ground podcast. I am your host, Bootsy, back with another reaction video. I came across this one, I think it was like 2 days ago, and I never got a chance to watch it, but it was Corey Holcomb goes off on transactional relationships. I don't know who Sarah Fontnot, or whatever her name is, but let's get right into it.
I want to say to the ladies, you're going to have to deal with this, because even though I'm saying it now, even though I joked about it on Cam Newton's show, this is what America is about to turn into. Men all over America, you should really listen to me, especially if you have something to lose. Marriage is the old model. Your relationships with most, I would say 80% of the women in America should be transactional.
Let's say y'all both make $500K a year. He's making $70K. He got a business plan. He got a vision. He's working towards that day in and day out. And you would have to look up at him on all the intangible. Does he get a chance?
I would rather be single. I am very disciplined, and so I would expect that a man is the same thing, because when you're disciplined, whatever.
I'll unpause it here. I'm a bit delayed because it's a bit early. In fact, I was talking on mute just a little while ago. But Corey said that the relationship that most men should have with 80% of women should be transactional. I holistically disagree. If your relationships have to be completely transactional, unless they are business relationships, why are you having these relationships? You're better off just leaving them alone.
Whatever you do the most is what compounds in your life. Why would I not give a shot to a person that makes $70,000 a year? I could put you on. Hell, I could even hire you. Come on, let's work together. We could do all of that. But as far as my man, because this is the thing, I refuse to give into a life where I start to feel like I can't have it all.
There's not a level. I will respect people because people deserve respect, period.
Right.
But respecting as my partner, you've got to be at my level or higher.
Right.
So she's full of it. And I was about to unpause it, but I had a feeling she was going to say something dumb right following that. So here's what a lot of people do. They will tell you that you're good enough, that you're beautiful. And this is a lot of what a lot of modern day society and what women do to the general public. They'll tell a woman, they'll tell their peer that they're beautiful, they're attractive, anyone would kill to have them. All of these nice and wonderful things because, you know, naturally they are about feeling. But when the rubber meets the road, it's never really about what they say, right? And you got to be careful when you listen to what people say. And as you grow older, you're going to learn to watch what people do. She'll say all these nice things about men who make $70,000, but at the end of the day, she thinks she's better than those men who make $70,000, which is crazy to think, because I guarantee you at some point, if this lady's popular or if she talks a lot or she's on podcasts, what she's going to say is, men who make 70,000 are great. It's just not for me. AKA they're good, but they're not good enough for my standards. And the way that I look at some of these modern standards, I don't think they're like really standards. I think they're just desires, because Lord knows this lady probably done connected herself and her life and her body with a man that made less than 70K. She just gets on the internet preaching whatever she's preaching.
For my partner, and not that I would give you respect, but that I would trust your lead. That's probably a better way to answer it.
Right.
Because if I'm ahead of you.
Here's the thing. Oh, if I'm ahead of you. And it's crazy to think that some people in the real world actually believe that simply because they make more money than you, that they're better than you and they're more capable of leadership. Finances and leadership have zero correlation. Zero correlation. Don't get me wrong. Some of your skills that got you your finance may also connect somewhat with your ability to lead, but simply because you have money doesn't make you a leader, and simply because you don't have money doesn't mean you're incapable of leadership. There are people before my generation, there were families who had nothing and they were happier because they had a household that had a great family. They had structure. They had a mother who took care of the family, who took care of the husband, who took care of the community, and their goal was family oriented, people oriented, community oriented, rather than finance oriented. And the fathers, the men, they protected the community. They made sure that certain things didn't happen. If there was someone who was doing something as wild as like messing with children, guess who would have went and tuned them up? It would have been the men, right? So we all have roles. But what we have done now in modern society is we tell people, hey, you're only as good as what you do for me personally, and you're only as good as how much money you make.
I don't want to slow down for you to pass me up.
Money makes me your leader. Period, point blank. If I give you money in exchange for services, it don't have to be sex. It don't have to be sex. It could just be things I need to get done. That makes me your leader in a certain situation. So,
and that's exactly what I was talking about. So Craig is alluding to the fact that for some people, as long as you have more money than me, you can tell me what to do. And that's a stupid way to live life. You're telling me you're only going to get in relationships with people who currently make more money than you. Money changes. Money goes up, money goes down. If you know anything about personal finances, most people aren't as rich as they like to portray on the internet. They flash, they show all these fake things, right? A lot of the guys who get on the internet and are surrounded by women are paying those women to be there. That's the part they'll never tell you. A lot of these women who get on the internet talking about my man needs to make a certain amount of money in order to be my man. There's a reason why these heifers are lonely. And it's not because they don't have the ability to get a man, because guess what? They will get with men that don't make that level of money. They just won't show them in public. Look at who they have children with. They're usually not those top tier guys, but yet they'll get on the internet, sell the reality that's currently in their head, and then other people will believe them. And this is why we have a diluted situation now, where people don't fully understand relationship dynamics.
I think a lot of times people, they don't like to be in a position where they feel like somebody is dominant over them.
If a man texts me and I'm on my way to do any type of woman maintenance, hair, nails, lashes, wax, and I tell you what I'm doing, and you don't offer to pay, or you just don't send no money, you can really go to hell. If you can really,
I'm not paying nothing. And I feel like any young man, any grown man, any old man who pays these women to stick around are pathetic. And that's what we really need to start having conversations on. All this culture came from celebrity culture. And what celebrities and rich people do is they throw money at women because they don't really want to waste the time building relationship with these women. They want to hand you some money so you get a little bit excited. Then they want to use you for a few minutes at a time, and then they toss you to the side. That's really what bred this culture. And what happened was, you remember getting flown out? Getting flown out was women who used to get flown out. It's not flewed out, by the way, but it's flown out. They used to get flown out by celebrities and rich people to random places, just like Diddy did. But we don't want to correlate this behavior with, criminality and the R word and assault. But it's the same thing. It's like y'all going around traveling, putting yourselves in danger for the thrill of finance. And then when it doesn't work out, they get angry, they get on the internet and they complain. What is the complaint that most of these women have with men? Oh, these men don't want to grow up. All they want to do is use women for coitus. All these men want to do is cheat. All these men want to do is run around and run through all these women. No, sweetheart, the men that you like love doing that. And it's funny because they're not learning. It's amazing to watch. They're like children who are incapable of logical thought. They don't learn. And all they want to do is stick their hand in someone else's pocket. But we have devolved so much now that we are at the point where they don't even want, or they claim that they don't want relationship. All they want to do is chase the money. So young man, young woman, anybody in between, if you are going on a date with somebody and the first thing they do is finance, even if you don't get up and walk out, end that date in your head, end that relationship, because they're not looking for a relationship. They're looking for a financial backer.
lose my number.
When I was younger, this is the norm, to make sure before you enter any exclusive relationship, especially if you're a grown woman and it's a grown man, they must pay them bills, period. Or else you're...
And see, this is what I was talking about. This is all internet culture. This woman did not grow up in a culture where you wouldn't date a man if he didn't pay your bills. That wasn't a thing. This lady is probably like 50 years old, meaning when she was younger 30 years ago in the 80s, Black people were extremely poor in the 80s. Black people were extremely poor in the 70s. This was not a thing. And these clowns get up on the internet with everything fake: wigs, weaves, makeup, nails, lashes, and they promote this image of elegance. This lady, I think this is the sprinkle lady. This lady gets on the internet making content for young girls, talking about what you should and should not accept. But I guarantee she don't have a ring on her finger. And they're not smart enough. These young girls are not smart enough to understand. If you follow behind someone like this, if you take her advice, if you listen to her consistently, you're going to end up like her in a few short years.
Are not exclusive. And some even paid bills before you were exclusive so that they can get you to become exclusive to prove that they could pay those bills.
Simp.
I know. And it's not just about bills. What paying bills allows a woman to do is save her money.
Simp.
Do her thing.
Simp.
Relax in her feminine. So on and so forth.
Simp. But no, let me add to this, because this is a load of crap. I almost cursed. When women say things like, I can't be in my feminine if you don't pay me to be in my feminine, that's a load of crap. There are women who work 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week, 100 hours a week, and they're still feminine. Why is that? That's because finance and femininity aren't tied together. Think about that for a second. If I need you to have money for me to be a certain way, that should tell you that the way I'm claiming I'm going to be is fake. It's like when someone says, well, if you do this for me, I'll sleep with you. That's manipulation tactics. It's like when young dudes tell young girls, well, if you love me, you would do this for me. That's manipulation. Stop letting these clowns manipulate y'all.
If you just say, I'm a prostitute and this is what I charge to with me, that is more respectable than trying to sound respectable, but being in denial about who you are. That's like...
Yeah, and this is gross, but it is a bit more respectable. It's not respect. It's not really that respectable, because it's still you selling your body for finance. It's like one of the most pathetic things you can do on earth. But it's more respectable than these clowns getting on the internet lying, because Lord knows a lot of these women sell themselves. They just don't like to call it the P word like he said.
Being a firefighter, you got a hose in your hand, you know, you got the water going, and you saying, I'm a football player. I can play football. You fight fires. What the fuck you got? It just don't make no sense to me how people think they can create their own reality. I mean, you can create your own reality, but at least be man or woman enough to make a debatable claim that might be controversial, that people may disagree with or may agree with, and at least support it with some facts. I sell pizza, and then say, hey, because I can pay my bills, I can pay for wigs, and I can't take care of myself financially, so I need a man to do that. That's more respectable.
And that's usually what it boils down to. One common trait between all of these women that behave and move this way is they have the inability to take care of themselves on their own. They can't take care of themselves. They can't take care of their children. So what they try to do is guilt you into handing over your hard-earned finances so that they could even have the ability to take care of themselves. Don't believe me? Look at the women who speak that way and then go look at their, let's say, Instagram profiles. Check to see if there's an in it or only hams link in it, because I don't want to get blocked. Check to see if they have a bunch of like scantily clad, pretty much naked pictures on the internet. There's almost always a correlation between that type of mentality and this behavior.
Than making a complete fallacy statement that has no truth to it.
You see, ladies, when you make money, your main qualifier as if somebody is a leader or not, if somebody is qualified to be around you or not, when you ignore other characteristics that can lead to them making money, well, you put yourself at the short end of the stick. What you're doing in our eyes is waiting at the finish line with a checkered flag, waving it, saying, come on in, I knew you could do it. Then when we get there, you say, hey, we did it. No, ma'am, I did it. You were just waiting here for me, wanting to get in on it while the getting's good. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You see, certain things in this world just can't be purchased, like loyalty and honesty.
80% of
Unc is absolutely correct when he said that, man. And people don't realize when you wait at the finish line, when you wait until I'm already successful, when you wait to see how much I'm going to get and how much I can give you before you figure out if you like me or not, when I tell you I am never going to like you as if you were there building with me, you're never going to reach that point, because any logical man understands that if the finances you have entices a woman so much that she's with you, but she wouldn't be with you if you lost that finance, that woman does not like you. She only likes your money.
The women you deal with in America, the relationship should be transactional. 20% of the women in America are worth trying to build with, but the other 80%, you should have a totally transactional relationship.
And it's definitely a controversial take, but I'm going to say this. I do firmly believe in the 80-20 rule, and not for the reasons that most other people believe in it, just because of pure logic, right? Most people in this world are not mentally sound for a long-lasting, long-term relationship. It's not a thing. Most people will never have a sustainable relationship. Most relationships in general will fail. 99% of relationships, or some high 90 number, is going to fail. And that means every single type of romantic relationship, because most people don't connect themselves with one person, marry that person, and go off into the sunset. It's not a real thing. That's movie crap, right? Most people have to keep looking to find someone who is actually compatible with them. So for that reason, when you look at it from a logical perspective, yes, most people will not make it in relationships. So you shouldn't be dedicating all of your time, all of your resources to everybody. You shouldn't, which is why I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't pay for dates to get to know people. That's not logical sense. That's what you were told to do by women because they benefit. You got to stop being manipulated by the people who benefit.
With them.
I wouldn't date a man that makes less than $100,000 a month.
Damn. Well, I guess, damn.
I bring in $50,000 a month. If my man is not making double what I'm making, at least double what I'm making, I just wouldn't have respect for it.
And see, they're tying respect with money, which never works, which means your relationship is most likely not going to work. So it doesn't make sense to even associate yourself with such a clown. It would not surprise me if this woman makes $50,000 a month on OnlyHams, taking off her clothes for a bunch of clowns and losers to pay her, the same clowns and losers she doesn't respect and or like.
I need a man that's going to lead me. And if I'm making more money than you, that means I'm more disciplined than you. That means I'm more motivated than you. That means I have more systems in place that allow me to make that money. So you have to be doing double what I'm doing for me to even respect you.
But best believe your polite savages, when her money starts running short, if she hits hard times, she will expect you, look you dead in the eye, the person who was making twice as much as her, she will expect you to pick the slack up. All of this leadership qualities and all of her motivational qualities that she feels she has will be gone, but she will still expect you to be there to help her. You see, all of this blabble about money is pure nonsense, because the right dude comes along, she'll forget all of those standards. As long as he makes her tingle, all of those standards will be out the window and she'll be in the same place that she said she didn't want to get to.
Because we don't know how to pick a woman. Let me explain something to y'all. Corey Holcomb likes to go to the strip club.
I'm gonna pause it right there real quick. What he said, I don't know what he's about to say, but what he said earlier makes sense. We don't know how to pick quality women the same way women don't know how to pick quality men. And I think in society, when they broke up our families, this is the end result. We don't have examples of what success is. So we like to grasp at ideas of success. And one of the main reasons why we fail is because our ideas of success don't equate to success. Having a man with money should not lead to you respecting him more. Those things should not match. You should respect the man that you connect your life with. And if he has money, it makes your life easier. You see how that's different? Women respect men who have money, which is why women at a global scale get used by men who have money. If you're a rich man, you firmly understand that women will throw themselves at you, which will lead to you having less respect for them. It's a logical conclusion. They don't understand that. They would rather chase people like Drake, who will use them and then forget their name by the end of the night, than to get with the plumber, the electrician, the layman, the sanitation worker who would love them for the rest of their life. For the rest of their life. Simply because they make more money. And this is why I continuously say when they end up alone, you should never feel sorry for them, because they think that they are better than the people around them until life humbles them and they realize that you weren't better than anyone. But what can you do? People are going to do what they want.
Club every once in a while. Do you know why I like going to the strip club every once in a while? Because I am absolutely blown away and fascinated.
He's stupid.
Looking at all of the female bodies. When you don't look at that all the time, when you're not around it all of the time, you are blown away looking at all of the female bodies in the strip club. I actually like that I'm not used to it.
And there's a couple of good
I
reasons.
enjoy looking at them so much. It's like it's so fascinating to look at all of the different human bodies. But check this out. I wouldn't pick a stripper to be my real girl.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it reminded me of, I don't know why, but that just reminded me of that Tyler Perry movie. I can't remember what it was called, but it was with a chick named Judith, right? As I just remember, see, he's like, Judith.
What?
Judith!
What's the matter?
Judith!
Judith, what about
My wife is with him!
Okay.
But I remember it was a lowly guy, dark-skinned dude. He was on the House of Pain, I think. But he was a lowly dude, regular worker, trying to make things work. And his girl, I don't remember what she did. I can't really remember, but I think she was a homely kind of woman, or she had a job. I can't remember. That's not important. What's important is they had a very great relationship until she met someone who seemed like he liked her and he had money. And then all of a sudden the man wasn't good enough. All of a sudden the relationship wasn't good enough. He wasn't doing this. He wasn't doing that. Meanwhile, before she met Mr. Rich, everything was hunky-dory. Everything was fine. Long story short, she ended up leaving her husband, who was trying to build and make a way for her. She ended up getting with the rich guy, and everything was sweet. Everything was lovely. You know, she was getting all the best of what life could offer, except she completely forgot that she already had the best that life could offer. And she ended up getting with this guy. I believe he was abusive, but even if he wasn't abusive, I could be remembering the movie, but he ended up giving her a gift that would never go away. And no, it wasn't a child. It was a STD. And, you know, she ended up losing everything. She ended up losing the money. She ended up losing her happiness. She ended up losing her husband, all because she wanted to chase what she was taught was the great quality man, the high value man. The high value man is not necessarily the rich man in the room. The high value man is the man that's willing to sacrifice for his family, the one that's willing to build for his family. When I used to go downtown to work, and I used to see these grown men tired, exhausted at 4 or 5 in the morning on the train, I think those are high value. The men who are exhausted but still make time to spend with their children and their wives. The men who don't want to go do certain things, but they know it'll make their family happy. It'll build the family unit. I think that's high value. And I think that's what we should be respecting, rather than respecting those who make money. Because Lord knows we are seeing many, many examples of many, many men who have money and they are abhorrent human beings. But the crazy part is, and I said this from the start, it's not just women. Let's be very clear about that. But I'm talking about women in this regard. They correlate respect and money. If you have money, they can respect you. If you don't have money, they can't respect you. And that's problematic. So I'll tell you a quick story. And before I'm heading off, like when I and my wife got together, neither one of us had any money. I had a little bit more than her. And, you know, she worked and she worked and she worked. I worked. Then she got a job that paid more than me. And I remember being extremely happy for her. But then I also remembered how so many women treat the men that they're with the minute they make more money than them. And I went, uh-oh. Like a part of me was like, oh, here we go. Let's see how this goes. And just before that happened, I had a friend who was with a woman. Everything was fine. She got a job that paid more. And then instantly she's like, I got to move out. It's not working. So these things happen, and they happen in real life. So when she made more money than me, I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. And I remember we would go on dates. I would still try to pay for things. And then she flipped it on me. She was not like most of the other girls I dated. So what she ended up doing was she would start paying for it, paying for the dates, paying for the other things, because she now had the means. So I would ask her things like, why are you paying for the dinner? That's supposed to be my job. And she said something that was so profound to me in the moment. She's like, if I could help you, or if I could contribute to the relationship, why wouldn't I? When I tell you, I went to my boys, I said, listen, man, I'm gonna marry this girl. And he busted out laughing. He was like, for real? I said, yeah, I'm done. I'm not dating other women. I'm marrying this girl. We are now married. We have a family, all because of a woman who grew up with a mentality that my job is to contribute to my family, my collective, and not my individual self. And at the end of the day, I don't think I need to really finish watching this video, because I think my current video is getting a little bit long. And plus I want to go out and go exercise. But I'm going to say this. When you find someone, the Bible says when you find a wife, you find a good thing. The problem is most people don't find wives. And just because people are married, that doesn't mean they found a wife. Just because you're married doesn't mean you found a husband. You need to find the mentality first. Everything else follows behind. My wife got with me and worked with me because she knew if she treated me right, I would break the world to make sure she was happy. And that's how it's supposed to be. Instead of chasing the money, you should chase the drive. You should chase the willpower from someone who actually likes you. Now, let me take a step back, because I love giving some midlife advice to people who don't grow up with fathers. Young men, if you go on a date with a woman, well, first of all, before you go on dates with women, you should get to know them. If you're trying to get to know these chicks and the first thing they talk about is you taking them somewhere, walk away. That means their goals are wrong. Their head is in the wrong place. They were taught improperly. Your goal in life should not be to fix people. Your goal in life is to find someone who will work with you. Point blank, period. Because if you learn anything about money, you understand you might make some money, but you may also lose some money. So if the woman is so hyper focused on money, and God forbid you lose a little bit of money, even if it's temporary, she will leave. And we've seen these examples so many times. But you don't have to listen to people like me. You can learn on your own. You can go make your own mistakes, which is a really stupid way to learn. You can do that. But understand, when you fail, and it will inevitably fail, if you don't take logical, sound advice, understand, people are waiting to make fun of you. Those same women that you were chasing after will make fun of you. The men you disagreed with and just shunned and ignored because you thought you knew better. Oh, people like Corey Holcomb will get on the internet and they're going to make fun of you, and it's going to eat you alive. All because you couldn't stop and think about your decision making. So should relationships be transactional? Somewhat. But it shouldn't be completely transactional. All relationships are transactional in nature. It should be give and take, push and pull. If all you're doing is giving and all they're doing is taking, or vice versa, you got to end these relationships. But maybe I'll continue this in a part 2. I stopped at 46-minute mark. Yeah, maybe I'll continue because I feel like Corey Hogan wants to say something funny. And I like the second part where it talks about chameleons and the Sarah lady, because something tells me that she comes off as a lady who talks about how everyone is equal, how, you know, you're good if you make 70, but you're not good enough for me kind of thing. So I kind of want to go into that part in the second half. So I'll do that. But until we meet again, keep your head on a swivel. Think before you move. Remember, your decisions equate to a better or a worse life. You got to take time before you make lifelong decisions. And the person that you connect your life with, the person that you have children with, when I tell you, they have the ability to make and break your life. So please be careful. Until we meet again.
Thanks for listening to the Center Ground Podcast. We'll be back soon with some more great content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. We are a new channel, and growth is essentially our main objective. So send us an email at centerground.pod@gmail.com with any ideas or clips you would like for us to review. This was definitely fun, and I'd say let's do it again. But before you go, always remember, greatness lives somewhere within you. Just make sure you're taking the time to find the key to unlock that greatness. Until we meet again, I'll see you soon.